Just out on the track before the prologue is the brand new Ultimate Suspension six-wheeler, employed to clear the racing section of any loose debris and, of course, the occasional stray spectator. This six-wheel drive has been developed by Ultimate Suspension with a standard Nissan 4.2-litre diesel engine plus an aftermarket AIT turbo. The vehicles contesting this long-course off-road championship are all vying for the coveted Man of the Mountain award and, of course, their individual divisions. There are 8 classes. First up, the speedy and extremely manoeuvrable buggies with engines no bigger than 6 litres. Then to buggies with up to 1600cc capacity engines, and Class 3 buggies with up to 1200cc engines, a nippy class for tight circuits. To Class 4 for the Baja VW Bugs with engines not exceeding 6 litres. Class 5 features the throaty and unpredictable two-wheel drive enduro vehicles, also with a 6-litre capacity maximum. To a new class, the Challenger series of buggies, featuring standard VW engines and suspension, looked upon as the learners class. And finally, the rock and rollers, the cumbersome four-wheel drives, Class 7. Ultimate Suspension entry, 786. Dean Walkwaite's Nissan MQ Patrol in the loops, just feeling his way around on his first race out of the navigator's chair, with Bill Ewing showing him the way. Actually, like Robert and Ross in 713, Dean drove his car up from Sydney to compete, but this is more than a drive in the country as they head for the big bumps at the school crossing. And Kevin Waldock has the pleasure of introducing you to one of the zoo's star attractions, the Grizzlies Pit Eats Cars, but not Playscape Racing's Go-Kart Kev. Hard on Waldock's hammer is his Bathurst mate Tony Longhurst, performing like a Class 1 until he sideswipes the pit embankment. Even though there's still tons of power in the Ultimate Suspension Ford Bronco, something wrong, and Longhurst returns to his crew alongside pit straight.
So you can't even turn it,
Barry Cooper is heading into the pit.
broken it.
Ripped it out, yeah.
Knocked the bloody face away.
Hi, Mel.
You know?
The end's come out of the power steering.
Tony Lear.
The car was just very hard to steer going slowly.
When did you lose it?
Right at the end of the first
A
lap.
very lightweight
Off to the pit, so I had to try to manhandle it back in the way.
motor car minus the
We
door.
might have been able to keep going, but it's too dangerous. You get on a slope corner and it just heads to the trees and all the rocks.
When you went through the mud over there?
Yeah, that's it.
That's more the style, taking a jump.
That's exactly where it happened.
Back to the block of flats as Rob and Ross approach the pit. Whoops, the clothes hoist got in the way. Yes, the lads picked the wrong line, but to show you how the Ultimate Suspension works, a strap-free recovery. Another magician, Tony Longhurst, and bear in mind these vehicles can go anywhere when they're jumping, especially when they aim at the cameraman, well, maybe accidentally. But again, the shots are worth all the worry and near misses. The Suspension Patrol has no fear or problems dropping off the mountain. And for Longhurst, it's easier than the bear pit until he sees Crafty Crofty looming. Mounting Tar jockeys Kevin Waldock and Tony Longhurst have certainly provided a good share of the day's racing highlights, so it's only fitting race director Ian Headley singled them out for special accolades at the 1989 Ultimate Milbrodale Mountain Classic presentation of awards.
Okay, we'll move right on to a couple of special people that, under very difficult circumstances, came down today to have a run in our cars and add a touch of professionalism to the event. I'd like to have Tony Longhurst, Bathurst winner in '88, and Kevin Waldock, who I think was 12th outright this year at Bathurst. I might add, Tony had never driven a four-wheel drive and never had a run in the dirt. They were unable to be here yesterday, so they were unable to qualify. They were seeded in and started in the second heat, back a bit, and Tony jumped in that car, which is not probably the easiest car in the world to drive. One little problem, put him out in for one lap in the first heat, but once he had it sorted out, came back in the second heat and did the fastest time for a Class 8 car by 5 minutes.
It's very hard to get in someone else's car and drive it very hard without, even on a racetrack, without putting into a bank, let alone on a circuit like this where you're jumping over bumps and dodging trees and rocks. And I just found that everyone on the circuit, everyone's very sportsmanlike, and it's quite a different atmosphere than what we normally have at the races. It's virtually dog eat dog at the circuit races, and no one will give you the time of day, but it's just a nice atmosphere, and I'd like to thank Ian for having me and everyone for being such a good sport on the circuit.
1110, Bill Croft, one of the heroes of this year's Ultimate Mountain Classic. Now Ian Headley acknowledges the other heroes.
The landholders. Without these people, there'd be no event. These people were not only very good to let us use their properties, but they've put in a tremendous lot of hours themselves, and it's very moving. It really is, to have people that not only let you run around and tear their place up, but are such good friends. Could we have Errol and Rod up here?
Oh, dear, what do you feel?
Well, there you go. Rod can't be here because he's over milking.
Get that on video?
One of the men responsible for financing this year's Classic, the Ultimate Suspensions, Ken O'Keefe.
Thanks, Dan. One of the biggest, I would say, exciting moments has been involved with this event. The professionalism, the efforts of all the local people, and you can feel the amount of work that's gone into it. And our company is very proud to be involved with such a professional group, and we look forward to supporting Ian, the crews, in this event for as long as we can work it together.
Firstly, I'd like to